Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself, what is up, world? I just watched Pacific Rim Uprising. It is the sequel to 2013's Pacific Rim. It stars John Boyega, Scott Eastwood, Rinko Kikuchi, Charlie Day, Bern Gorman, Jing Tien. I, I say it every week. I apologize for the mispronunciations. It's gonna happen continuously. That's my bad. Callie Spaney, and it is directed by Stephen S. D. Knight. And I think this is the first movie he's directed. He helped, I think, write, and he was a showrunner for Daredevil season 1 on Netflix, which is amazing. And if you want to get a shout out in my review of Ready Player One, stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can do that. So you got John Boyega. He's the son of Idris Elba, and through some events, he gets brought back into the kaiju Jaeger world, big robots defeating, fighting, trying to save the world from big ugly monsters. And he has some experience in his world before, but he didn't think that's what he wanted out of life. And come to find out, the world needs saving again, and him and Scott Eastwood lead the charge. Back in 2013, man, Guillermo del Toro directed probably the most underappreciated movie of that year. Like, it was weird, man. It was like a 2-hour movie about the final battle of an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Big robots fighting big monsters, and it was cool. It was badass. It was dope. It was clever. And this movie takes the most simple aspects of the first movie and tries to build upon it. And it just for me, my video, my opinion, it just didn't work, man. The writing is terrible. The script is bad. It tries so hard to be funny, and no jokes landed. Charlie Day is in this movie. He was not funny. John Boyega is written as the quippy badass of the new generation. None of his jokes landed. He tried, like, they spoil it in the trailers. He tries to give this badass speech like Idris Elba did in the first movie. We're canceling the apocalypse. That was like Bill Pullman Independence Day-esque, and the speech in this one was weak. I wasn't motivated. I had checked out of the movie. I was ready for the movie to be over before the third act started. And that's, like, real talk, like, the first movie had a good 4-5 kaiju Jaeger battles. This movie has 2, and one of them is a simulation. And there are a couple scenes. It's more like, that's a spoiler. There are action scenes, but they're not what you expect. It tries to push the plot forward, and the reveal upon what goes down is forced. They're like I'm telling you, like, John Boyega was directed to just be this funny, quippy rebel. It doesn't work. Scott Eastwood was directed. Hey, Scott, just be your dad. Just be your dad. There's a scene in, I guess, the kitchen. John Boyega and Scott Eastwood are having this back and forth. Eastwood delivers this line, and I'm telling you, I heard Clint Eastwood. It's crazy. If you are in that boat, Scott Eastwood is the next Wolverine. Shut the fuck up. Scott Eastwood should never be Wolverine. He's chasing this franchise. He was in Suicide Squad. He was in Fate of the Furious. Now he's in Pacific Rim. The best one of those is Fate of the Furious, and he was in for like a minute and a half. And then They're like the discovery of this young kid who might have some skills. Callie Spaney in this movie reminded me of the young girl from the last Transformers movie. Obviously, they were filming and didn't like have intel. Oh, Transformers is doing this. Let's have another big robot movie with a young girl who's smart at whatever her skill set is. That's what she reminded me of. The battles were disappointing. The action was disappointing. I didn't hate the movie, but it was just such a letdown compared to the underrated gem that Guillermo del Toro gave us. Yeah, and yeah, like John Boyega's character, period. Where'd he come from? There's no mention of Idris Elba having a son in the first movie. There's no one line, well, I've got to win the war so I can get back to my son. That was more Australian, but you know what I'm getting at. And he just magically has this son, and it's forced. It's all this whole movie is forced. They had 5 years to make a dope sequel, and they screwed the pooch. They screwed the fucking pooch on Pacific Rim 2. They should have let Guillermo del Toro win his Oscar, come back, and make his sequel. There's like 2 mentions of Charlie Hunnam. And I don't know, like the first one just had this aura of coolness. Ron Perlman pops up and he's this black market kaiju body part dealer, and they tried to flip Charlie Day into that, but Charlie Day was over the top. Scott Eastwood was over the top. There were so many over the top characters in a complete, just disappointing movie, man. With all that being said, in my opinion, I will say the Pacific Rim Uprising is straight. Like, it's not a bad movie. I only give ones to movies that I hate that I paid to watch. Just like Strangers Pray at Night, man, is another highly disappointing sequel to when the first movie was borderline brilliant. Have you seen Pacific Rim Uprising? What did you think about it? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. If you want that shout out, next weekend, Ready Player One review, which I'm going to try now that I have the time. I'm going to try to watch that on its release day next Thursday. Within $2 million, higher or lower, man. How much does Pacific Rim Uprising make in its opening weekend? Be the first, be the closest. Get your guesses in by noon Central Time, and you get the shout out in my next review. I've recently posted reviews for Tomb Raider, for Gringo, for Strangers Pray at Night, A Wrinkle in Time, Red Sparrow, Death Wish. My last movie talk with one of my homeboys on the MCU, our 10 favorite MCU movies, is posted. I'm gonna get y'all before the end of the month a March movie talk. Stay tuned for all of that. Next weekend, I want to see Ready Player One, of course. And then the weekend after that, I want to see Blockers. And I also want to see A Quiet Place. High hopes for both of those. I've heard good things about both of those, honestly. Like, subscribe, comments. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.